So it begins, ladies and gentlemen, so it begins. You may recall that on October 17th, 2017, website Glixel discovered and reported that Activision patented and researched a new type of microtransaction system that would take advantage of matchmaking to manipulate players into purchasing them. The way it works is that the game will purposely match a junior player with an expert player to guarantee that the junior will have a hard time and most likely lose. When they lose, knowing that the junior player may wish to emulate the expert player, the game will prompt the junior to check out items possessed by the expert and entice them into making microtransactions purchases of those items. So for example, let's say you're playing a first-person shooter and you're artificially matched with a high-level player who keeps killing you with a sniper rifle you don't own yet. After the match is over, the game may nudge you into checking out the items owned by this expert player, like the sniper rifle that they used to kill you over and over again, in an attempt to manipulate you into purchasing that weapon. To take things a step further, the patent also details that if you do end up making a microtransactions purchase, the game will automatically match you in a gameplay session where the purchased item is highly effective to give the impression that it was a good purchase. So in the example that I provided, if you end up buying the sniper rifle, the game may put you in a map with a lot of high ground and open areas that favor the use of the weapon to artificially make you feel as though this was money well spent. Here's a diagram from the patent that perfectly breaks down how this new matchmaking engine will work. It begins by identifying an item that may be relevant to a first player, identifies a second player who possesses that item, matches them up, and after the match, if the first player purchased that item, the game will place the first player into a session in which the item is effective. If the first player didn't purchase the item, the game will update their profile to indicate non-purchase and will use that information to inform how they can repeat this vicious cycle of manipulation. Now, when the story broke, Activision was adamant that, quote, this was an exploratory patent filed in 2015 by an R&D team working independently from our game studios. It has not been implemented in-game. Bungie also confirmed that the technology is not being used in Destiny 2, which was published by Activision. But do not be fooled, people. The publisher is already taking steps to begin implementing this new manipulative, exploitative, matchmaking-based microtransaction system, and it all starts with Call of Duty World War II. The following information comes from footage of the game embedded in a Reddit post that shows off its loot box system. One new feature that Activision implemented in World War II was a 48-player social space set on Normandy Beach, which is very reminiscent of The Farm in Destiny 2. Among the things you can do in this social space is open loot boxes, but here's where World War II takes the abhorrent system to the next level. The way it works in this game is that while you're in the social space, when you earn a loot box, you designate a location, press a button, and the box will fall out of the sky, landing in front of you, after which it will seamlessly open like an in-game treasure chest, without having to go to the market or a separate menu. Now here's the real kicker. Everyone within the social space can watch you open your loot boxes. Bystanders can see the loot box fall out of the sky, they can see you open it, and they can even see what items you earned. Sure as hell sounds familiar, doesn't it? Like, oh, I don't know, a certain patent for a matchmaking microtransactions engine that allows players to view items owned by others to manipulate them into purchasing them. While World War II doesn't implement the patented system to its full extent, you can see that the basic idea is all there. The social hub matches you with 47 other players with God knows what kind of shady algorithm, where everyone can see each other opening loot boxes like some spectacle at a casino, and when one of them hits the jackpot and gets something super rare and incredible, that might incentivize bystanders to make their own loot box purchases and gamble their money away in an attempt to emulate the lucky player. Because nothing says authentic World War II experience like Normandy Beachside loot box casino, right? Make no mistake, this right here is the advent of Activision slowly but surely pushing their patented system. Thus begins the next evolution of microtransactions and loot boxes, the next stage of this tumor that's been festering in our AAA games for years now, one that many have taken to dismissing as harmless or optional. But there's only so long you can ignore a tumor of this severity, as it will grow bigger and bigger until it inflicts tangible, permanent, irreversible harm and eventually kills the host. I can guarantee you that every new Activision game following Call of Duty World War II will inch its way closer and closer to achieving the final form of their patented matchmaking microtransactions engine. Once they reach that point, they're not going to stop there. They're going to find a way to push the boundaries even further with a new system that's even more intricate, more manipulative, more exploitative. And this is nothing new. This natural progression has been happening since the dawn of microtransactions. Which is why it's so important, ladies and gentlemen, that we stop this tumor now before it's too late. Excusing these practices as optional, unintrusive, or harmless, even if they are on some level, is doing more harm than good at this point. It is this mentality that has given major third-party AAA publishers wiggle room to fine-tune microtransactions and loot boxes into their current state. And as Activision's patent and Call of Duty World War II has shown, things will only get much worse if we keep giving these publishers an inch. Every inch we give them does build up, and at this point, they've traveled about a mile. For anyone arguing that this stuff isn't so bad, I encourage you to think long term. Don't lose sight of the forest for the trees. It's only the beginning. Give this stuff time, and you'll see that this creature we know as microtransactions and loot boxes will grow from a seemingly harmless infant into a full-grown monstrosity. With that, I would like to end this news update and discussion video. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you found this video insightful. Spread the word, stay informed, and if you enjoy my content, consider supporting me on Patreon. All contributions will go towards helping us remain 100% independent. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.